I gotta be honest with you guys. I've lived here in San Diego for pretty much my entire life, almost 32 years. And for most of it, the ocean was never a very important part of my life. Like growing up here, I never went swimming in the ocean. I didn't go to the beach very much. I never went snorkeling. I never went tide pooling, never did surfing or kayaking or paddleboarding until I was 26. And when I was 26, I was at La Jolla Cove one day and I was looking out at the water and I was just overcome by this tremendous curiosity about what was beneath the surface. I just wanted to know what this underwater landscape was that was kind of like hiding in plain sight right in front of me. So I got my scuba diving certification, and it just completely blew my mind and changed my life. I just fell totally in love with our kelp forests, our pinnipeds, the red and gold and green Christmas colors of the reefs that we have here. And I just couldn't believe that I had spent so many years in this city and never knew that we had such a vibrant marine ecosystem right on our doorstep. 6 years later, I'm here at Scripps studying marine conservation, and I've come to understand that if you want to get people to care about protecting the ocean, you first have to connect them with the ocean in a highly visceral way. Now, not everybody is able or willing to go swimming or diving in our cold, turbulent, temperate waters. So when I came to Scripps, I was thinking of doing a communications project that maybe could just bring the ocean to our land-loving friends, finding a project that could reach people who are very similar to me, who might be super interested in exploring the ocean, learning about the ocean, and maybe even protecting the ocean, but just hadn't really been exposed to it in a way that was going to capture their love and attention. So I thought that maybe it would be a cool idea to immerse people into the water without making them get wet. So I created an underwater virtual tour. This virtual tour is interactive. It's comprised of almost entirely 360 videos, and it really is kind of the first of its kind. And here it is. This is a virtual tour of Matlahuel State Marine Reserve, which is one of our beautiful California marine protected areas that's just outside the doors here. This is hosted on a website, so you can access it on your computer or on mobile devices as well. If you're going to take people on an underwater tour of the ocean, you want to do it in a marine protected area like this one. This is a no-take reserve. No fishing or taking of organisms is allowed, and that has allowed a really vibrant food web to thrive here. There's much more biodiversity than an unprotected area. There's high abundances of fish. So this is exactly the kind of place that we want to take people underwater if this is kind of their first time really seeing what it's like in this type of environment. Now, if you want to learn about the marine protected area, you can click on these buttons here that give you a little bit of background on the scientific objectives of this MPA. But I'm guessing that most of you would be interested in probably going underwater and checking out the habitats here. You're able to travel across this MPA, and everywhere you see a blue circle and a dot, you're able to go down beneath the water there and check out some of the different habitats that are here in this marine protected area. And these are the real locations of the habitats around the MPA, so we tried to get very close coordinates so that you're really kind of experiencing this place as it is. So let's do La Jolla Cove. When you first go underwater, you're going to get a little pop-up window that gives you a little bit of contextual information about the marine protected area. This tells you a little bit about the habitat and the animals that live here, and also clues you into what to look for as you're virtually exploring this environment. You're able to turn the camera in 360 degrees. As you can see, most of our videos don't have any divers or photographers kind of hovering around the camera, so this really is your space to be immersed in and to explore virtually. If you're viewing this on a desktop computer or a laptop, you just literally drag your mouse or drag your, click and drag to turn the camera, or if you're on your mobile device, you can just touch with your finger to move around. So we got some big animals here, but here at the Seagrass Meadows, you actually want to get a little bit closer to the reef. So if I want to investigate what's beneath that seagrass, I can click on the magnifying glass right there. And now we're at the reef close up. You can see that there's a little lobster hiding out. And we got some pop-up videos that you can click on that give you a little bit more information about how different animals here use this habitat and why it's important for these animals. So it's not just 360 videos that's a part of this. We also have really beautiful photos and underwater videos, regular underwater videos as well. This virtual tour has between 35 to 40 360-degree videos. They range in length from about 90 seconds to 4 or 5 minutes. Just like in the real ocean, patience is rewarded. The longer that you stick around, there is some cool stuff that happens, like right now. Scuba diving with dozens of sea lions. If you don't know, now you know. Of course, if you get a little impatient or if you want to rewind, you can drag the playhead that's at the bottom of the screen to go back or go forward as well. If there's things you want to replay, or if you want to skip ahead to some of the good stuff that you found. Not that you would ever want to leave this moment, but if you're ready to go and get some fresh air, you can click on the little arrow at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And that's going to take you back up to our main overhead map, where you can go explore some other underwater sites. I was very lucky to do this project here at Scripps. I needed to go out into this MPA and collect 360-degree video, and Scripps has an absolutely amazing scientific diving program, and I had access to a team of scientific divers that was able to help me with this. Actually, raise your hand if you were on my dive team. There's a few of you here. Major kudos to these guys. They're amazing. Having a good dive team was really important for 2 reasons. The first reason, we are putting down a camera and a tripod. So we want to be able to do that without harming the benthic environment. So having a team of divers that can not only set up the equipment, but also have really good buoyancy and trim, so we try to leave minimal to no impact when we're getting this footage. The second reason why it's important to have a good dive team is this. It ain't always sunshine and rainbows underneath the water. Our camera rig is pretty lightweight, which is nice because we can easily maneuver it around different habitats. But getting this thing anchored down when the ocean is throwing you 10 feet in this direction and then 10 feet in the opposite direction is actually really, really difficult. It takes a lot of effort to, as you're getting blown around in the current, to strap weights onto this tripod, get the camera attached, and also not allow yourself to get thrown into rocks and boulders and whatever other hazards are out there in the habitat. We actually did manage to get this camera down, and we got some really good footage out of this dive, so props to my dive buddy Maxie for helping me with that. Here's how we did. We went diving for a period of about 3 months. We logged 36 dives. We spent just under 26 hours underwater getting footage, which gave us over 21 hours of footage to work with. And this has created a virtual tour experience that's between 90 to 120 minutes if you're watching like every video from beginning to end and reading all the pop-ups and whatnot. Now, there's 124 marine protected areas in California, and we only did 1 of them. So hopefully we are just getting started, if you know what I mean. The cool thing about our process is that it's pretty cost efficient. We used pretty affordable equipment, and we came up with a diving process that can be replicated in a variety of marine environments, from the tropics to here in cold water, mid-depth, shallow, deeper habitats, turbulent environments or calm environments. So the hope is that we can get funding to go and do this for more of the MPAs here in California. In California, we have a network of MPAs that goes all the way up the coast. They touch many different communities. So if we can build more virtual tours to reach all these different communities, we could potentially connect so many more people with the ocean here in California, and therefore bring more people into the tent of marine conservation. So if you're looking to fund an impactful communications project, call me for sure. Big thanks to my capstone committee. Thank you to Loria and Ricky and Ed for just being so wise on marine protected area communications and science. And have a whole lot of collaborators that helps me with this project. Thank you so much to Dylan and Adi from the Jen Smith Lab. Thank you to Katie and Lily from Wild Coast. Thank you to Coach Jackson from Coastal Defenders. And thank you to Kala from MPA Collaborative and Susan from Department of Fish and Wildlife for providing me with some really important documents that I could use when creating this virtual tour. Thank you to Reef Check for all the scientific data, and thanks to Paul for some drone photography and web hosting technical support, which was invaluable. Thanks to my family of scuba divers that I would not be here without, and Samantha, Hannah, Carolina, Michael, Zach, Ronnie, and my cohort, the Benthic Baddies. Our virtual tour is not quite done yet. We're going to have a final version that will hopefully be published in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But if you're interested in checking out this prototype version that you just saw earlier, you can go ahead and scan this QR code. And if you like it, feel free to share with your friends and family, and it'd be great to get the word out. Thank you so much. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Oh, is it working? Yeah. Have you considered any ways to use people's experience with the virtual tour to then empower them to have impacts in their actual communities?
Yes, definitely. That's something that we've thought about a lot. We have different types of opportunities that we touch upon in the virtual tour, and that's why was so important to go and get a lot of collaborators with local NGOs. We have, Wild Coast featured, and we talk about enforcement programs and some of the ways you can get involved through Wild Coast. We also have some, we talk about some volunteer opportunities that you can do underwater monitoring with like Reef Check as well. And then we also talk about some other issues about community enforcement of MPAs and trying to get people in the local community to educate folks that might be unknowingly like taking things from the MPA and whatnot. So that's definitely like one of the important things that we try to touch on in different ways, in different spaces throughout the virtual tour.
Hey, thank you for that presentation. I remember, I think you did an Instagram takeover, and I saw some of your work in progress. So really cool to see the final product, and I understand still work in progress. I was curious, would you consider, it was difficult, but would you consider doing a nighttime version of the virtual tour?
I'm so glad that you asked that. There may or may not be some nighttime stuff in this virtual tour. We actually, we also did some, at least one night dive that wasn't featured in the virtual tour. And because the lighting conditions are so difficult, especially when you're using a 360 camera that is just not super well equipped for low light photography, we went down and we tested out some methods, and the footage wasn't usable for that specific dive, but we learned some important things about doing this type of 360 photography at night and what the right setup for that would be. So in the future, we can definitely go and get more of that type of footage, but there is some night dive footage in this virtual tour that you can enjoy. But hopefully in the future, we can go do more of it and have maybe every one of the habitats that we film, we can get like a nighttime version too. I think that'd be really sweet.
Cool. Thank you for your presentation. And speaking of the nighttime footage, if there's an option for like a discotheque version or anything like that, that'd be rad. I would love to see a fish rave.
Me too. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. As someone who has been surfing, swimming, kayaking, spending time in this exact spot for a long time as a native San Diegan, and someone who's really fundamentally trying to create an understanding for people who don't have the luck or choice to come to this space in the ocean, I really appreciate all the really critical work that you've done to make it easy to digest, look at the little videos, do the 360, and let people manipulate how they look at what they're looking at. And I just love to continue the conversation. It's awesome what you've done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, I feel lucky to be a diver, and I know that not everyone has the access to that, whether it's physical or economic or whatnot. So hopefully we can use this to introduce more people to the beautiful world of marine science and conservation.
Awesome.